All right, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have with me Miss Ashley Heath, and she's coming with a story about the Wayne County public school system, which I think needs to be addressed concerning the treatment of her and her son during certain incidents. So I'm going to let Miss Ashley tell you the story.
I suffer from anxiety and ADHD. And if you guys haven't already seen my video, I posted a video stating the incidents that have happened at Meadow Lane Elementary. I've got a problem with my anxiety. I guess part of it is separation anxiety too.
Okay.
So in the beginning of the school year, they had told me that their doors are locked. You have to be buzzed in.
Okay.
I don't like not being able to get to my kid.
All right.
I've had personal issues where that is a problem for me.
Okay.
Instead of talking to me about what they can do to help ease my anxiety, we ended up getting into it, and part of that was my fault.
Okay.
I did react quicker than thinking it through. But instead of talking with me, I didn't even know they were doing this, but they ended up banning me off of the school premises.
So this was like the first day that he went there?
It was the second week.
Okay.
When they told me I couldn't walk him to class. Now he's the first one I've been able to put in school. So for me to be able to walk him to class was a necessity for me. And instead of trying to talk with me to find out why I needed to walk him to class to ease off that separation between me and him, because he's been underneath me since he was born.
Okay.
They didn't try to talk with me. They did not try to compromise with my problems or try to come to a compromise with me. They just went and banned me, and I didn't even know that they had done that until I had arrived to drop him off at school, and when I went to go pick him up, they served me with a letter. I actually have that letter here as we speak, if you want to see it. So after this, that did rub me the wrong way, and I reacted and retaliated in a way that I probably shouldn't have.
You talking about the day you found out that they were banning you?
The day that I found out, they served it with me, and I was like, how are you going to ban me? I'm the only one that takes him back and forth to school. He has nobody else. And at this point in time, we had moved in with a specific person. I don't know exactly how you want to call him.
Your friend?
We're having issues right now.
Okay.
Over this exact issue.
Okay. So y'all moved in together with him.
Yeah. So I reacted kind of badly. And I was trying to get the food that I knew he didn't eat that morning, and I had asked one of the teachers for it after, reacting about them banning me, and I'm the only one that can get him to and from school. Because the bus doesn't come out to where we live at.
Okay.
So I'm literally all he's got to take him back and forth to school.
All right.
My mom, my sister works, my other sister, we've got issues. She don't really help with anything that I've got going on.
Okay.
So when I had to drop him back off at school, I parked in the turning lane, and I called them and I told them that they need to come out here and get him, considering the fact that they wanted to ban me and I can't drop my son off at school.
Okay.
They told me that they couldn't come and get him, and that I had to drive around to the buses to drop him off. And I said, well, if I'm banned off the property, then I'm banned. Either I'm banned or I'm not. So I told him that if I have to let him walk across the school campus and he falls and gets hurt, then that's on them. They tried to tell me that it wasn't, because I released him to do so.
Okay.
And I told them, I said, well, as soon as he hits school property, he is under y'all's responsibility. Well, the officer in question, after he had tried to pull open my door after they served me with the paper, the next day he came up to me while I was in the turning lane, And as soon as he walked up to me, I told him he was being recorded. As soon as I told him he was being recorded, he acted like he had some sense.
Okay.
He actually tried to talk with me and try to be on my level and try to figure out what was wrong. So he was asking me if he wanted me to take him, and I told him, I said no. Not after you tried to pull my door open and tried to arrest me after I got banned. I didn't even have time to get off the property. I was trying to get my son's food.
Okay.
And he immediately tried to rush me out off of the property after picking him up the day I got banned.
Okay.
So on this day in the turn lane, the dean, I guess, I don't know if it was Mr. Witchard.
Okay.
He came up to me and he was talking to me and asking me what the problem was, and I told him my problem. I told him I suffer from anxiety and ADHD. My anxiety is more of the panicky retaliation that comes out of me that a lot of people don't understand. And instead of trying to actually think about my anxiety, they automatically just look at me like, you know, I'm just a normal everyday person.
Okay.
He had told me that I could go through the car rider line like everybody else and drop him off and pick him up from school. And after that conversation was done and over with, I was able to drop my son off for school and leave. Well, after these two incidents, me and the school didn't have a problem being able to talk with each other.
Okay.
I have been, when I'm late taking him to school, I get out my car, I take him to the lobby, I buzz the door, they let me in just to the lobby so that I can give them Damien, and then I leave.
Okay.
Well, they didn't even tell me about the first incident when him slipping in the bathroom and falling and hitting his cheek.
Okay.
They sent me a class dojo message instead of calling me. So we're all talking like adults, no problems, no issues. I get a call on the 4th.
The 4th of
March.
March, okay.
Telling me that my son's hair got pulled by another student. And they said that the nurse checked him out, and that's when I started getting suspicious. Why are you checking my son's hair out if it was just a hair pull? Like, they shouldn't be strong enough to be trying to rip each other's hair out. Well, they wanted to check, make sure none was ripped out, make sure his head was okay, and I was like, I don't understand. I've had my hair pulled plenty of times, and I don't understand why he got sent to the nurse. So I go up to the school, because they asked me if I want to pick him up, and I said yes. So I go up to the school, and I go and pick Damien up. He seems fine. I did not tell them ahead of time that I wanted to speak to somebody about the issue. And this right here is key to the whole process. When I got there, I asked somebody, I would like to speak to somebody about the incident. I want to know exactly what happened, what went on. So Miss Edgerton pulled me to her office. We spoke. This is the same student. She did not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word for giving you the name.
Reveal?
Yeah, she did not reveal the name of the student because of their privacy policy. But I had already knew which student it was because I have watched this student run a bike into my son's back at preschool.
Okay.
While he was sitting in the sand. So I already knew who the student was without her even saying anything. And I had told her that there was previous issues with the same exact student, and that if she couldn't watch them closely, separate them, or if she couldn't do those two, then I wanted Damien put in another classroom. I wanted him away from this student. So she kept telling me she was handling it. I said, well, if it's not handled and this happens again, then I'm going to take matters into my own hands.
Okay.
And I'm one of them parents that I will talk to the other parent.
All right.
I'm not, when it comes to my kid, I'm very protective.
Yes.
So after I had left, I calmly left. We weren't in a disagreement. I wasn't hostile. I was just letting her know that if it happens again, then I will be taking care of it.
Okay.
2 weeks later, I mean exactly 2 weeks. It happened on the 18th of March.
Okay.
I get a call at about 2 o'clock. It's about 2 o'clock because I had my appointment at 1:30 or somewhere around there. Letting me know that I can't remember her name, but I know she wasn't a nurse because she had told me that the nurse was not in today.
Mm-hmm.
And that Damien was up there with her, and he had fell and hit his mouth on the desk. And I asked her, I said, what do you mean? She's like, well, they were exercising in class, and Damien had fell and hit his mouth on the desk. I asked her, well, is he bleeding? Is his chip tooth? Because they were telling me that she thought that I might want to take him to the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm like, okay, well, if he just fell, because I've watched this boy growing up, I know how he falls. And I'm like, normally it's just a busted lip, like a little nick on the inside if he hits his mouth. And so I asked her these questions, and she said that they had just got the bleeding to stop, and that I might want to take him to the dentist. So I tell her that I'm going to a doctor's appointment, and I'll be right there to pick him up. I get there, and his whole top lip is swollen at least 5 times its size.
Mm-hmm.
And as many times as he's busted his lip with me, I've never seen it that big.
Okay.
I posted pictures with the video showing that his lip the day of, that was 3 hours after, with him being in the Batman's shirt.
Okay.
The other picture is 2 days later with it still swollen and scabbed up right here on his lip.
Uh-huh.
So because it was still swollen 2 days later, he was already missing homework, so I wanted to go ahead and take his homework up there. So I just go up there, and I've never been this calm in my life. If you've known me personally, I've never been this calm in my life.
Okay.
The only thing that I could say is God had me that day and had complete control, because I would have flew off the handle.
Okay.
I just walked up there, and Miss Jeanette Merritt, and at the time I didn't know her name, but she had met me in the lobby because I had, another parent had already did the buzzer. So
Okay.
I literally put my face in front of the camera and waved, and she left the door unlocked for me.
Okay.
So I walked in, and I had his papers, and I handed them to her, and I said I just wanted to turn in his homework that I forgot to turn in last week, and I wanted to talk to somebody about the incident that happened Monday, and I'd like to see the classroom, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
She said, well, hold on, let me get Miss Edgerton. She comes back, and lets me know that Miss Edgerton is in a meeting at the moment, and tells me that she will get to me as soon as she's done. So I specifically asked her, where does she want me to wait at? Did she want me to wait in the office? Did she want me to wait out here? And when I said here, it was like a question at the same time, where do you want me to wait at? Miss Jeanette said to wait there in the lobby, and she pointed straight to the bench that they've got sitting in the lobby. Told me to wait there, and Miss Edgerton will come and get me as soon as she's done. So I'm sitting there patiently waiting. I mean, I didn't have nothing else to say. I was just waiting for Miss Edgerton to come and get me. Well, I'm sitting there waiting. 3 more parents come in, and next thing I know, the sheriff is opening up the doors and trying to tell me that I'm not supposed to be here. And I tried to inform him that they told me to wait here because I needed to speak to somebody about the incident that happened Monday with my son. Mm-hmm. While I'm saying these couple sentences, he's still trying to cut me off, shaking his head no, like he didn't want to hear it, that he didn't care what they said, and that I needed to leave. Miss Tammy, another lady in the office, was standing there helping one of the Hispanic parents translating through a phone app.
Okay.
And at the time that he's trying to make me leave, I asked her if she could go get Miss Edgerton. At this moment, I'm getting a little agitated because he's trying to rush me out, and I'm trying to get somebody to be a witness or to state that they had told me to stay in the lobby. Mm-hmm. The teacher completely ignored me. And then I get a little louder and a little more agitated and asked her, can you please go get Miss Edgerton? She looked at me and said that I'm busy helping somebody right now.
Uh-huh.
At this moment, the officer steps to me to try to grab my wrist and try to grab me. I stepped back, stayed still. I was not running, and I just told him not to touch me.
Mm-hmm.
So after I said that, he kept going at me, and then that's when my vulgar language came out, and I
Okay.
told him to don't touch me.
Yeah.
He grabs me right here, twists my arm up. At this point, I'm trying to grab the table that is in the lobby to get away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabs my arm here, and he's still got my hand here, and shoves me out the double doors. Now, if anybody has ever seen a school double door, they've got these bars that you push to open up the door. He pushed me so hard, I have a bruise on my side. I don't know if it's a little bit, it's not much, but there's a bruise right here from where I hit the doors.
Okay.
And as he was pushing me out the doors, he stepped on my foot and then backed me up against the brick wall. I'm not completely sure how I got away from him. I don't know if he was trying to walk me to my car or if he let go. All I remember is trying to snatch my arm from him, and my arm came out and I walked straight to my car.
Okay.
As I'm going to my car, this officer is following me.
What's the officer's name? You remember?
Devin Green. I actually have my paperwork from where he charged me with trespassing too. He then followed me to my car. I get in my car. I don't know if he's running my license plate or what, but he's on the walkie with somebody.
Okay.
And I crank my car. I leave the school grounds. After I get onto Ash Street, leaving the parking lot of the school, he's right behind me, flips his lights on as soon as I get on the main road, and pulls me into Wayne Pregnancy Center. While I'm in the middle of trying to leave the campus, I call the school back. And at this time, I am hostile. I am aggravated. I am very, aggressive when it comes to me speaking, because of the fact that I just got forcibly removed and nobody had a problem with me.
Yeah, when
Now,
you were sitting in there talking.
When I was in the lobby, the officer did state that Miss Edgerton called him to come to campus to come and get me. So at the moment where I'm getting pulled, I'm on the phone, and I told whoever answered the phone, I said, get Miss Edgerton on this phone now, and I mean right now. So I'm very aggressive at this point.
Understandably.
She gets on the phone, and I tell her, I said, now I didn't have no anger, no attitude, no problem. I literally came in there just to speak to you about the incident that happened Monday. I said there was no need to call that officer. I said I was not a threat. She said that she had called him to campus because I wanted to speak to somebody about the situation that happened Monday.
Okay.
And my understanding was that she called him to be a third party
Make
as
sure-
a mediator.
Yeah, okay.
Not to pull me out the lobby, but to just be a mediator. She said that when she came out, everything was going on, where we were tussling. She did not know that the officer, from what my understanding, she did not know the officer came in there to pull me out the lobby.
Okay.
Because she was just trying to have a third person there so that we can talk and things not get crazy.
Okay.
And I told her, I said, well, if that's the case, then you need to tell this officer to leave me alone and to back off. She said that at this point I needed to follow the officer's directions. And the entire time I'm on the phone with her, he's knocking on my door. knocking on my window. Miss Eve, I'm not going to go away. I'm not going to go away. Pulling on my door, trying to open my door. And after the first incident, I have learned to lock my doors.
Okay.
Because you're not going to rip me out my car. So he's still there. I rolled the window down just a smidge and put her on speaker and told her to tell him she would not.
She wouldn't.
No, because I'm pretty sure it's because I was off the school campus at this point. And she said that I needed to follow the officer's orders. And at this time, you already put your hands on me. I'm already scared to get out my car. So I hung up with her after she wouldn't help me with any of this situation.
Sounds like she really probably called him.
I do believe so, and not even meeting me face to face to see if I was even angry about the situation. I literally just wanted to know what happened because everybody I had spoke to was not in the room when he fell. So nobody could tell me how he fell, what incidents led up to him falling, nothing. All they can tell me was that he fell, hit his mouth on the desk.
So there was no teacher in the room?
I have not been able to speak to that teacher.
Okay.
I've not been able to speak to anybody who was in the room. These are all been people contacting me that wasn't even there when the incident happened.
Okay.
When
you hung up with the school, who did you call?
I called 911 because at this point I'm scared to get out my car. He's already grabbed me hard, shoved me out the door. Like, what's next? So I called 911 and I told them that I have an officer harassing me and that I needed help. They sent 3 more sheriff officers to me, and I spoke with these officers. And the vibe that I got off of these officers was like they already knew that he was just being a butt about things. But because he's the one pressing these charges, they couldn't do anything because it was at that officer's discretion.
Yeah, it's the thin blue line.
So they talked to me, and I told them, I said I did not want to go with that officer. I said, can I go with somebody else? Because they were still going to arrest me.
So they were going to arrest. What were the charges they
It's
eventually?
2nd-degree trespassing. It's a misdemeanor. I have the papers here as well. And when I asked them, I was like, are you still going to arrest me? And they were like, yes, because the officer is the one pushing it. So I ended up getting out of my car. I had to call my significant other and let him know what was going on because he had my son at the time, because I was not allowing him to go back to school until the swelling came down.
Okay.
And then after this incident, it just made me feel very suspicious of the school concerning what's going to be next. I feel like they're not watching the kids like they should be, because how does my son end up with 3 different incidents in this whole entire school year? And this one was really serious. This one bothered me.
Yeah.
My son's lips swelled up big. His 2 teeth here and here, the one front one and the one right beside it, are bent in.
Okay.
I took him to the dentist. The dentist did say that there was trauma in his mouth. Like, he can see where signs of trauma, where there had been some trauma in his mouth. And that was from the incident that happened at school, because his mouth wasn't like that. And I have a voice recording of the dentist telling me that he could not tell whether or not there was force behind it, or if it was just a fall. So I'm really just wanting information on what led up to him falling.
So have you tried to reach out to like the school board since then?
I have. Now, after the first incident with this school, where it was partly my fault, or at least 75% my fault, I tried to get him transferred at the beginning of the year because I did not like the school.
So you wanted to get him transferred to another school?
I wanted to get him transferred to another school. And I was already out of district, so I mean, it's not like I'm not already taking him back and forth to school. And I looked at Tommy's Road Elementary, and as soon as I walked through the door, I felt instantly comfortable with this school.
Okay.
You got to go in and then to the office like a normal school.
Okay.
They don't lock you in the lobby. They still have to unlock the doors to let you in. But while I'm waiting in the office, I can see down the hall. And I can, if I ever need to pick him up, I can see him walk to me, which makes me very comfortable knowing that I can, set my eyes on my son. And I've not had a problem out of them. So after this incident and with them arresting me, I got back in contact with Tommy's Road to try to get him transferred.
Okay.
Because I'm literally not in their district. I haven't been in their district the whole year.
Okay.
So at this time, they tell me that I've got to go to the school board. Well, I called because that morning I tried to wait, but I had a doctor's appointment in Greenville. So I ended up having to leave to go up there. So when I got back, I called Miss Denise Banks is the one that I needed to call and contact about the transfer. So I get on the phone with her and I speak to her and letting her know that I was wanting to transfer my son because I'm no longer in Meadowlands district. And she asked me if I had a lease or a utility bill in my name, and due to the fact that I'm living with somebody else, my name isn't on anything.
Okay.
She did not give me any other option. She said pretty much she's trying to tell me that I got to make somebody else put me on the lease, and it's not my choice to do that. If they don't want to do that, that's their house. It's not, we didn't get it together.
Mm-hmm.
So she wouldn't give me no other option. And she told me that unless I have that, then I can't transfer him. I said, so you're going to allow my son to continue to get hurt at this school because I don't have my name on a lease or a utility bill?
Mm-hmm.
She deliberately ignored that question and told me that I should have never gotten out of my car.
Okay, so she placed the blame back on you.
And then she got smart with me, talking about, don't you have a cell phone? Couldn't you have called the school?
Called the school.
There was no need for me to call them if we were on a mutual basis and neither one of us was having issues with each other. I didn't have any more issues out of the school. I didn't get no attitude from them. We literally had been doing teamwork to get him back and forth to school. So I didn't feel the need to call. I wasn't up there to be hostile. I literally was just up there trying to get information on what had happened with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I didn't feel the need to call because we weren't having issues. You know, and at that day, I was just calm about the whole situation. Even the day I picked him up, I was calm about it. And I don't understand how I could, I really don't understand how I was even that calm when I picked him up. And I guess it was just the fact that I was looking at him and seeing him hurt, and I was more worried about him than worried about the school.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm trying to figure out how bad it is, and after 2 days of swelling, it started worrying me. Yes, it went down, but it shouldn't have been swollen for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Not if it was just him busting his, hitting his mouth because he fell.
And you still haven't got any information?
I haven't gotten any information. I even sent Miss Edgerton a message on Class Dojo asking her why she did that. Why did he have to go and do that and pull me out?
Yeah.
There was no need for it. All I was up there doing was trying to find out information. And she has not messaged me back.
So has he been to school since then?
No.
It's spring break right now, right?
It started today. So
Okay.
he was out since the 18th to yesterday.
Okay.
Because I'm so scared that the next incident is going to be worse.
Yeah. And they may treat him badly because of you.
I don't think it's just that. I've been noticing a lot. Like and I hate to pull the race card. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it. I can't stand it. And I hate people who think about it this way too.
But yeah,
But
because your son is mixed, right?
This whole school is nothing but white people.
Okay.
The teachers, I've only seen possibly maybe 2 black teachers in this entire school.
Okay.
One is his teacher. And then I've seen one other one walk in the halls. And I may be wrong. There may be a few more, but it's majority of them are white. Mm-hmm. Students as well. There's more Asian or Hispanic students than there are black students at this school. Mm-hmm. And I really think that they are putting me through this because of the fact that I have a mixed child, and a lot of people don't think that that's right. Mm-hmm. I've never been able to look at color. Mm-hmm. My entire life I've never been able to, and it's always bugged me that people do that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I should just say that I'm a different breed or what.
Yeah, speak. Speak.
Racism bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the color of your skin that should matter. It's your personality and the way you go about things, your respect for others. I've had a problem since day one from this school, and I really feel like it's because I have a mixed child. Because when I walked into Tommy's Road, I've not had a problem with them, and Tommy's Road is full of black kids and black teachers. And I really hate to sit here and have to make this difference, but the vibes from both of these schools are completely different. I can walk into Tommy's Road and be comfortable as could be, But as soon as I walk into Meadow Lane, I feel like everybody's looking at me or targeting me because I have a mixed child. And I think that's the reason why they let him have as many accidents as he does too, because without giving the name of the child that pulled his hair is white. He's white. And I've spoke to my dad's girlfriend about my middle son that is currently with them due to prior situations that, I kind of put myself in.
Okay.
And she said, because she's got my middle one, my sister's oldest one, and her daughter.
Okay.
And all three of them are in school.
Okay.
She told me that there was only one out of the three that has had an incident at school, and that was my son. But she said that she has not had as many issues as I have had this 1 year with that one. And I just don't understand why you can't. And the only thing that I can feel is that they don't want to tell me because it's the same student that caused it.
Okay.
And they know that I'm going to fly off the deep end because I had already requested that he be put in a separate classroom, in a different class, and away from this student. And they don't want to tell me because they refuse to do what I asked.
Now, is Meadow Lane, is that like for exceptional children?
No, it's an elementary school. It's just like a regular elementary school.
Okay.
And there are exceptional children there, but they are a public middle school.
Okay.
I meant elementary school. And the fact that I requested before this incident happened that my son be put in a different classroom and didn't, I feel like they neglected what I asked on purpose. And then Denise Banks, because this school has made it known to everybody about the situations that have happened.
I see. And they probably
So
made the school board too.
Yes, they have, because Dr. Richard won't help whatsoever. He is completely in agreements with Meadow Lane, because Denise Banks works there. I feel like she's in with them too.
Denise Banks works at Meadow Lane?
No, at the Board of Education. She's the one I had to talk to about the transfer and completely told me that if I don't have these documents that I can't transfer him, and I don't feel safe taking my son back to Meadow Lane.
So are you going to take him back when the school starts back?
I'm not trying to, but because of this issue and my personal issue at home, I'm being forced to. And I'm scared he's going to come home with like a black eye or a broken bone.
Because you say your significant other wants him to go back to Meadow Lane.
He wants him back in school, but because these situations are causing me not to be able to go about it in a transfer way, and I can't just take him out. He has offered to take him back and forth to school, but I'm so scared he's going to come back hurt again, and the next time it's going to be worse.
So after this, do you think they'll let you drop him off, or they don't even want you coming
I don't want to be on the property. You ain't going to lock me up but once.
Okay.
You're not going to lock me up twice. And the way I feel right now is I feel like they literally set me up for that. They got me comfortable and then called him in as soon as they knew it was the same student that caused the hair pull accident.
Just because you wanted to know how did your son's
And
mouth
because I done and warned them last time that if this incident happened, then I would take it into my own hands. But that was after I had requested, and I did it twice. I requested it twice because I repeated myself, letting her know that if you guys can't watch them closer, or separate these two, put him in a different class and switch his classes. And they deliberately did not do what I asked. So this same child is still in his classroom. This child is bigger than he is. My son could put up a fight, but he keeps making excuses for this child.
Well, that's what children do. Children don't want everybody to get in trouble.
And with the issues that I've had to deal with, and I think that's the reason why he makes up excuses, because that baby knows no hate.
Okay.
He knows no hate.
Yeah, I can tell.
He loves everybody, and I have done my best to make sure that he does not live with hate. That's not a born behavior. That is a taught behavior.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you teach your kids hate, then they're going to hate. I don't teach him to hate people. I don't teach him to hate anybody. I warn him about there are bad people out there, but I don't teach him to instantly hate you. Not because of the color of your skin, not because of who you're from, none of that. Me and my dad have issues. We don't talk, but I don't teach him how to hate my dad neither, because what I've got between me and my dad is mine and my dad's problem. It doesn't involve him. And it shouldn't affect his love for his grandfather.
Yeah. So does he get to interact with his grandfather?
I do let him interact with his grandfather. And at first, I didn't teach him how to hate him, but I did keep him separated from him for a little bit. And then when he got older to where he was talking and, could have a choice on whether or not he wanted to, interact with him, I gave him that choice. Because my problems are not his problems. He can make his own problems. I shouldn't have to influence his opinion about somebody because I have issues with somebody.
Yes.
And I guess because I've taught him that, and I guess that's the reason why he makes up excuses for this one student that keeps on hurting him. And with my anxiety and stuff like that, I do tend to react quickly. And I think that's another reason why he tries to make excuses for him, like
So
they can't control it. No, I think it's his personal thought process. It's not for me, it's for him.
Okay.
Like, he's very smart and very self-sufficient. He does a lot of stuff by himself. He can fix his own drink, as long as the pitcher's not, like, full.
How old is he?
He's 5. He'll be 6 in April.
Yeah.
And he does a lot by himself. The only thing I can't get him to do is put his socks on by himself. But other than that, he does a lot of stuff by himself.
Yeah,
And
so how has he reacted as far as like the incidents and being out of school?
he thinks it's just like usual because he's always home with me. Like before I put him in preschool, he had been with me all the time. He's on my schedule.
Is this his first year in school?
This is his second. I actually put him in preschool.
So preschool preschool in Meadow Lane or preschool?
Preschool was Small World.
Okay.
And at that time they were short-staffed. So for this child to do what he did with running a bike in his back, was completely understandable because it was one teacher with, I think there was 18 kids in the classroom. I think it was 18. It was somewhere between 14 and 20. I do remember that. I want to say it was about 16 or 18 students. But there was so many students, it outnumbered her. And at the time, she had took them outside to go play in the fenced-in area behind the preschool. So I could understand why she couldn't catch every little thing because there's normally two teachers in the classroom at all times when it came to Small World because they had to ratio it out for the number of students. So they had to have 2 teachers in there. At the time I went to go pick him up, I think one of the teachers had a doctor's appointment or something that she had to get to, which is understandable because they got to make sure they're healthy too. And so I just pointed out to her that, he did that, but I did not react. With Small World did not give me no problems whatsoever. I literally could talk to them and have no issues. But for some reason, I get in Meadow Lane and it's like they just, I don't know, it just feels like they're just out to target me because of him. At first I thought it was me because of the way I react, but when I walked into Tommy's Road and seen the different environment and the different vibes, it just gave me a total different vibe. Now, at first when the incident happened, I thought somebody might have tripped him or pushed him, and that could have been by accident. That's fine. Just tell me.
Yeah, just let me know. Like, there's no reason something like that happened. You said they stopped the bleeding, but nobody knows what happened.
Nobody knows how he fell.
And even if, like, you should be able,
When-
allowed to talk to the teacher, no matter what had happened in the past. So
When I had got there to pick him up that day, I asked him again what happened, and they couldn't tell me anything. All they could say was they don't know if he tripped, or if he stepped on something and slipped. They couldn't give me anything. They couldn't even tell me what exercise move he was making. He had told me that he was jumping up and down on one foot. Still, jumping up and down on one foot and falling isn't going to give that much damage done to your mouth. Even if you just drop straight down, like if your knee buckled out from under you or something, you're not going to hit that desk that hard. And the way it was like this on his mouth. So it made me feel like he fell forward.
okay.
And at first I just thought maybe somebody tripped him or pushed him by accident. And if it was an accident, just tell me. If it was done on purpose, switch his class. That's all I wanted. They couldn't tell me anything. And it made me feel like they weren't even watching him. For you to not tell me what he was doing in class, where were you? Like, how do you not know what he's doing in class? I misplaced it again. I had the paper where they gave me, writing down, see if it's behind one of them, writing down what happened at the school. No, I left it at home. Actually, it's in my car. I can hand it to you after we're done. It's in my car.
Okay.
All they could say was that Damien fell, hit his mouth, and described they said that they were dancing for brain break time. Well, my concern is this. Well, if you're dancing in the class, why are you dancing beside desks? Why aren't you pulling these students up to a carpet where there's nothing around them for them to get hurt? Why are they close enough to where he got hit if they were just dancing?
Yeah, it's a lot of unanswered questions.
There's a lot. And I haven't gotten an answer to any of them.
So are you going to try back, I guess, when break is over, you're going to try to continue to...
I'm going to continue to try to transfer him.
Okay.
And if it comes down to it, and I absolutely have to, which I'm terrified to, I just don't want to get in trouble for him not being in school, and this isn't my control. This is out of my control.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have some concerns if you feel like he's not being treated fairly or even being, watched. So, I definitely, try to see what's going on, because you gave me some clarity today. I know we've been talking for a couple of days, but I see what you're kind of saying now, as far as, just them being negligent, so, maybe that first instance that you had with them, put a sour taste in their mouth, and they're not willing to look past that. As you said, like, y'all been having a good time, y'all been talking.
I've been able to go straight to the lobby and let them take him. We haven't had no issues. They haven't requested I wait in my car. And I thought that we were okay. We both were calm. We both acted like adults, and I wasn't even mad. And I even have it on recording. I called back to the school later that afternoon requesting that I get all of Damien's things because I did not want him going back to that school. And Miss Jeanette answered the phone, and I asked her, I said, "You're the one that told me to sit in the lobby, weren't you?" She goes, "Yes, ma'am." And I have that on recording where she told me to sit in the lobby.
Yeah.
And it's like every time I tried to tell somebody that she had gave me permission to sit in the lobby, it's like they just ignore that.
Yeah. It sounds like, maybe they was trying to cover themselves for him being hurt and trying to make the issue you instead of what happened to your son.
And not one of those sheriff officers, and there was 4 of them there, not one of them read me my rights as I was getting arrested. They just put me in handcuffs, put me in the back of the car. I was at the magistrate's office. They patted me down. Nobody told me that I had the right to remain silent. None of that.
So you had to bond out on his chores, or
Yes,
they,
I did.
they let you out on your own signature?
No, they put a bond on it. My man ended up having the bondsman up there. So if it wasn't for him, it probably would have took me longer to bond out. I did have a girlfriend of mine that was willing to do it too. But when I got to the magistrate's office, the lady acted like she just didn't want to hear what I had to say. That, you know, the officer had already gave them his side of the story. So it was like when I got to tell mine, it was a lie because the officer beat me to it. And I didn't get hostile or aggressive with this officer whatsoever until he tried to grab me. And I have a thing with that. I don't like to be touched. When, for example, the incident at Walmart where I was trying to get my son's cake, I had already had a phone call with my significant other and had a bad start to the day.
Okay.
I was already late for his birthday party. I was trying to go in, get his cake. I needed to type in my EBT card because I've had it for so long. It no longer has the numbers or able to swipe it at all. The Walmart employees tried to tell me that they were not able to do that, and as with my experience, I already know that that was a lie.
Okay.
Because the one in Rosewood does it, the Expresses does it. I could get the gas stations to let me type it in, whichever ones are able to type it in. So I knew this was a lie, and I called him out on it. And at this point, I already know the cops are going to get called because I know at this point I am causing the problem.
Yeah.
So I showed my butt. Cops were called. They asked me to walk outside and give the guy the cake. I shoved the cake in his chest and told him not to effing touch it. And I walked out of Walmart. Now, when I went into Walmart, the alarms didn't go off. When I walked out, they did, and I didn't steal anything. So the officers are coming behind me, and I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm hysterical. I'm frantic. I don't know what I'm going to do for his cake at last minute. And I was so scared that he wasn't going to have a birthday cake for his party because Walmart didn't want to type in my EBT card, and I showed my butt. So my mom got there. Well, she was on her way. As I was walking out, I'm not paying attention. I've got my son's hand in mine, so it's not like he's running, but we're kind of like in the road a little bit. The officer goes to grab my wrist, and I pulled my wrist back, and I told him, I said, don't touch me. I said, I will do whatever you need me to do, just don't touch me. They asked me to slide over to the concrete, and I did what they asked. They did not touch me. They asked me if I had took anything because I had went off when I went out the door. I opened my bag.